something that will make your mind blown away as we present on how we will do our experimentation with regards to electrolysis. We all know that electricity plays a vital role in modern life and is essential for the functioning of many everyday technologies and appliances. Some of the most important roles of electricity includes powering homes and buildings, providing energy for industry, use for communication and transportation. But do you believe that electricity can be used in changing the chemical properties of a solution by the process of electrolysis? To answer that, let us know first what electrolysis is and its connection or relevant to electricity. Electricity plays an important role in the process of electrolysis. Electrolysis is the process of using electricity to break down a compound into its component parts. This is achieved by passing an electrical current through a solution containing ions, which causes the ions to migrate to the electrodes and be reduced or oxidized. The amount of electricity required for electrolysis can vary depending on the compound being broken down and the desired outcome. Without electricity, electrolysis would not be possible.
To make this experiment, these are the objectives that we need to aim. First is to understand the principle of electrolysis. Second is to determine which is anode and cathode in an electrolytic cell. Lastly is to better understand the decomposition process, how a single reactant, which is water, breaks down to give simpler products, which is hydrogen and oxygen.
To make the electrolysis base setup, we will use the following materials: plastic container, 4 small plastic bottles, straws, 2 stainless forks, copper wire, plastic, 9-volt battery, salt, 2 rubber bands, water, and lastly, switch, which is just optional.
In this experiment, we will use an electrolytic cell, and to make this, we will do the following. The materials that have been gathered was then prepared. We have our straws that is cut into smaller size. We have our fork that is bended about 90 degrees that will serve as our electrode. We have our copper wires, our bottle caps. 2 of them is pierced with 1 hole and 2 of them is pierced with 2 holes. Next, we have our plastic bottles. The 2 of them was cut in size that will fit our container. The lid of our container is also pierced side to side. We have our container, which is pierced in both sides in the lower part. Now, we will assemble our setup. Insert one end of the straw to the hole of the lid of the container and in the bottle cap with 1 hole that was placed underneath and seal it with a glue. Do it in the other hole of the lid as well. Introduce the plastic bottles that were cut in the bottle caps. Insert the other end of the straw connected to the lid in 1 hole of the bottle cap with 2 holes, with the length reaching about 1/4 of the plastic bottle, and seal it with glue stick. Do the same on the other straw. Using another straw, insert its end in the remaining hole of the bottle cap and seal it with glue. Do it to the other side as well. In the hole of the container, insert the handle of the fork from inside to outside and seal with glue. Do the same in other hole of the container. Connect the copper wires from the terminal of the battery to the handle of the fork. If a switch is available, connect in one of copper wires connected in one terminal of the battery. Fill the container with water and salt mixture. Put the assembled lid in the container. Put tap water in remaining bottles, about less than half, and introduce it to the cap that is outside the container. Decompress the plastic and introduce it to the straw from the bottle cap and seal it using a rubber band. The setup is complete. Next up is to turn on the switch and do the observation.
Upon observing the experiment that we have conducted, we noticed that there are are bubbles forming in the pore after the switch was turned on. After few hours, it is evident that the clear water from the start changes its color and some toxic elements are visible. Moreover, we observe that there is something happened to the plastics which are connected to the bottle. It is because the components of water, the hydrogen and the oxygen, were decomposed or separated, resulting the plastics to inflate as electrolysis takes place. In addition, we also identify the most important components of an electrolysis process. First, the direct source of power, the battery that provides a source of electrical energy, pushing electrons into the cathode and making it positively charged, or oxidizing electrode that acquires electrons from the external circuit and is reduced during electrochemical reaction. Electrons are also drawn out of the anode, making it negatively charged, or reducing electrode that releases electrons to the external circuit and oxidizes during the electrochemical reaction. Once this happens, an oxidation reduction is activated. And the electrolyte, it is the molten or dissolved substance. In the experiment that we have conducted, the electrolyte is the sodium chloride solution where the transportation of current of ion takes place. Finally, electrolysis is one of those processes which are widely used in the metal industry. Whether it's the extraction of metals from their ores, purification of metals, or electroplating